So I posted a video a couple months ago called 5 easy transitions for your music videos, and it really popped off. It's my most viewed video on my channel, so I thought I'd follow it up with this video here, going over 5 more. So of course, we're in Premiere Pro here. We got this NLE Choppa and Fabio Foreign music video opened up here. This music video had a ton of energy, and I just love the camera movements and everything involved. So we're going to be recreating those transitions on this footage right here. Now for this first transition here, as you guys can see, it's just a hard cut just like so. Now to make it blend even better, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this scene right here on the quad, just like this. I'm going to speed ramp it by 200% speed and move this across. So we play it through, we have the quad speeding up a bit. But then what we can do as well is if we go into our project and we create an adjustment layer here and we drag and drop it in between our footage just like this, what we can do is go into effects and then we want to throw on brightness and contrast here. Now once we have our brightness and contrast in here, we want to keyframe the beginning and then we're going to go to the end of it and keyframe it as well. And then in between these two keyframes here, we're going to bring it up to something about here. And then we can do the exact same thing for the contrast and then bring it back down to 0 for the end there. And we'll have an effect just like this. Super simple flash effect there. And you guys can make it even faster if you want by dragging these keyframes and moving them together like so. Honestly, it's just messing around with it. I think this is going to be the cleanest one here. And we have a transition just like that. Super easy flash transition. I recommend definitely playing with the contrast as well because it really adds to that look there. Especially if we mess around with it like that and then like that. Yeah, there we go. It really adds that look. And then what I recommend doing with these as well is adding some kind of sound effect or transition sound. I actually just dropped a brand new sound design pack a couple days ago, which would be perfect for this transition. We just go into whooshes here. We have them sorted by fast, medium, slow, and build up. Obviously, we're going to want a fast whoosh for this. So I'm going to go in and open up this one here. If we put it right about there and play it through, you guys can see before and then after with the whoosh. You guys can even right click and turn up that whoosh by 200% speed. And if we turn down the volume a bit as well to like -10, just like that. Fire transition. I really love the flashes, especially if you're going for like a simple music video look. You can really get that with these. Now moving on to our next one here, what I'm going to do for this one is we're going to do a slide off the frame transition. So if we take this clip right here and duplicate it up by holding Alt and dragging up, we can clip this part right here with our C and using it to cut. We can right click and we're going to add a frame hold here. Now if we extend this, the frame is going to hold. It's going to be frozen on NLE right there. Well, we're going to click on the frozen clip and under opacity here, we're going to click on the pen tool and it's going to create us a mask. Now we're going to go around and mask NLE and cut them out to our best ability. Now for the sake of this tutorial, I'm really not going to take my time with it. I'm going to speed it up just so it's not a while for you guys, but I do recommend that you guys take your time doing this and make it as perfect as possible. All right, now that we have NLE cut out here, what we're going to do is we can see if we play it through, we get an effect just like this, but to spice it up even more, to really add that sauce to it, now we're going to right click and we're going to nest this here. Now once we have it nested, we're going to go into effects and we're going to apply a couple effects on here. I'm going to start off with directional blur, drag and drop that on there, and then you're going to go ahead and search transform, and then you're going to drag and drop transform on here as well. Now that we have these two in here, you want to go into transform here and unclick this use composition shutter angle right here, and you want to change this to about 200. Now what this is going to do is when we keyframe our clips, it's going to add motion blur to it. So if we go to our scale and position here and then go to somewhere about here and bring it down like that, when we play it through, it's going to have that motion blur just like that. And then if we go into directional blur as well, we can turn up the blur length just like so. And then what we're going to do is we're going to keyframe it from 0 here beginning, and then when we get to about here, we'll go to like 50. That's really going to give that clean transition off there. And that's just a clean effect, and I recommend cutting really fast and doing that a couple times really fast to like really emphasize that effect. I'm not going to do it right now, but this guy goes to the right, this guy goes to the left, next scene, and you just continue that on for a couple scenes. Moving on to number 3 here, guys, we're going to be using the Fast Movement Effects V2 pack. We're going to go into effects here, and if we just go under presets and open up the Fast Movement Effects V2 pack here, we're going to open up this folder right here called the best ones in here, and then this one here called these ones are cool. Now under the best ones in here are the ones I use all the time. As you guys can see, they have some pretty crazy names such as crazy, oh my god, slide up, best one in here, second best one in here, wow, yes, yeah. And then these ones are cool, are just transitions that I don't use all the time but are still fire. Now to use the Fast Movement Effects V2 pack, we want to drag and drop an adjustment layer right between our two clips just like this. We're going to make sure it's center in the middle here. Now going back into effects, what we can do is we can drag and drop any of these on here just like so, and I'm going to play it without it and then with it. It really adds that crazy transition. And what you guys can do as well too is if you want to add hits to your video, I'm just going to go ahead and make this adjustment layer a little bit smaller. So you guys can see they're dancing just like that there. What we can do is we can go on these adjustment layer and go over to our hits and put on hit 1 and hit 3. You could really add that energy to the video through those effects there. Honestly, guys, the pack shines the most when we have multiple clips here in a row coming up fast. So for example, we're going to go ahead and throw on adjustment layers for all of these here. If we go back into our effects folder and we just drag and drop random ones on here, let's go with the second best one in here. And oh my god, slide down and yeah, for example. Let's go ahead and play this without it. And if we play it with it, you guys are going to see how much energy it adds. It's crazy. Come on, like, isn't that, like, that's just wild. I don't know. I think I really snapped in this pack. If you guys do want to go grab it, it'll be linked in the description below. You guys can get yourself 15% off using code GOTYOU. Go crazy. A bunch of other packs on there as well. Now moving on to our next transition here, guys. What we're going to do is we're going to take a couple frames from each one of these, just like that. Boom, boom, boom. Just cutting one frame in between. And then what we can do is bring every other frame up like this. And then we're going to trade them off that. Boom. And like so. Boom. We play that through. We'll just have a really cool stuttering effect. Just like that in between your two clips and transitions. You guys can make them longer if you do want, but on top of this as well, there's a couple other options to make it a lot more smooth. So what I recommend doing is if you go into an adjustment layer here and you put it on for this, you can go into effects, put on transform again, drag and drop that on there again. And same thing as last time, we're going to uncheck this box and change it to about 200. And then what we can do is keyframe position, scale, and rotation. And then we're going to go to about halfway, which is right about here. We're going to zoom in like this, change the rotation, copy these keyframes here and paste them here. We'll have a crazy look like this. And if you guys do want, you can go ahead and add that brightness and contrast to it as well. And just do what we did last time. Boom, turn up the brightness, contrast, and then reset it at the end there. And now what I think as well will really add a little bit more sauce to this is if we play with the rotations, we make one that way and one that way. Boom, and if we go back into our whooshes pack here and drag on a random whoosh as well here, and it will really give it that effect. Now moving on to the last one here, guys, number 5. As you guys can see, his chain is going crazy right now. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold shift on our keyboard and then use the arrow key to go back. It's going to go back 5 frames. We're going to cut that. One more time, shift and use the arrow key to the right. Ignore these glitches. It's not going to show up in the final render. I don't know why it's there. Now that we have these clips cut, we're going to right click on them and speed them up to 300 speed, and then speed and duration 300 speed, just like so. And we just have a little speed ramp there, just like that. 1, 2, 3 frames, crop that. 1, 2, 3 frames, crop that. We're going to nest this here. And once we have them nested, we're going to drag and drop directional blur on here. So we go to this frame here and go to the direction and keyframe the direction and blur length. Now going to the middle here, we can turn up the blur length like that. And then going to the end, we can set it back down. And we'll have a nice clean transition just like that. I don't know why that's applying to his face, but you guys can pretty much see how clean it is. It just goes up and it speeds up with it. This is kind of wrecking it, but you guys get it. And if you do want to add a little bit more sauce to it as well, you can throw this adjustment layer on that had the brightness and contrast. Delete the transform off of it and just center that. And we have that clean wipe up just like so, with brightness and contrast on it. Those are 5 simple transitions that you guys can use for your music videos. If you guys enjoyed this video, I recommend checking one of these 2 banger videos linked above, and go check out the website as well. The whooshes that we're using in this video and the Fast Movement Effects V2 pack are on there, alongside a bunch of other packs that will really speed up your editing process and make it so much easier. Thank you guys so much for watching. Catch you guys in the next one. Make sure to subscribe. Come on, what are you doing? Peace.